you as the writer, you have to observe the human rights of your characters. Kasi may mga karapatan din sila. Human rights sa mga pinagbasehan mo ng totoong tao, at even if hindi totoong tao, characters yan, may karapatan yung character mo na mabuhay away from you. So kung may tendency natin, beliefs natin, ang character kong prostitute, gagawin kong ganito kasi moralistic ako. Eh prostitute siya hindi siya gaya mo kinukulong mo siya sa sarili mo, nawalan siya ng karapatan You have to let them breathe as real human beings away from you. Otherwise, guilty ka rin naman nagwa-violate. Lalo na kung real people yung ginamit mo. So, some of them I tell them, some of them I surprise them. I knew naman na they don't mind. Pero kung, halimbawa, you're talking about incest, na kaibigan mo na naka-experience ng incest, at gagawin mong pelikula, I think you have to tell them. Even if sabihin mong, ibahin ko naman ang pangalan, etc., baka you have to tell them. So, may mga ganong responsibilities. In connection with this, I think, I'd like to say, we don't exist in a vacuum as writers. We're responsible to our world. If you're dealing with mental conditions or disorder elements ngayon, you cannot be deaf sa nangyayari sa palibot as if 30 years ago or 10 years ago. Iba na ngayon. So you cannot be tone deaf. You have to be responsible to your environment. If you talk about gender, again, you have to be responsible kasi yung mga tao sa palibot mo dumaan na ngayon. In the end, our teachers keep telling us na dapat fleshed out, gray, three-dimensional ang characters. That's not true. Sometimes we need characters who are flat, two-dimensional. Kaya lang, itayo nyo, pagutihin nyo. But if you choose, I love characters who are all passive, hindi nag-grow, hindi alam kung anong DAP nila, hindi alam na nakahon sila, yes, you can do it. There are so many beautiful films na ganun. In that case, ang nagtatanggal ng kahon yung audience. So in short, you're really so powerful, you can do anything. The only thing that's required is make it work. Convince us. I write my draft and naiiyak ako nagsusulat and I feel so good. And I'm sure alam nyo to the feeling na you're so powerful. Pag may nasapot na sulat ako maganda, I feel na kaya ko lahat ang buong mundo. Maski pandemic. I walk around na nakangiti. I'm so powerful. Then the next day when I read it, hindi siya maganda. Writing is a journey of maganda, hindi maganda, maganda, hindi maganda. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So kung minsan I need an external force. Mag-go to press na or magkukuha na lang galalat. But I never stop. With Para Kay B, I thought maganda na siya. I ended with chapter 4. The 5 love stories and then interact sa audience. Bumoto kayo, mobile or what, kung sino sa 5 mga games yan. I ended there. And I thought maganda siya. And then natulog ako, nagumising, etc., etc. Parang hindi. So you have to finish what you're writing to realize that it is not what you want to write or it's lacking. You will never find out until you're set out to writing it and trying to finish it.
Is there a line that artists should stay on between speaking the truth and playing it safe given the political climate of the country when it comes to red tagging people as enemies of the state?
I think there's no compromise with truth. I think ang compromise mo lang ay yung daan papunta sa truth. But I think there's only one truth. There can be different realities. I can do a fantasy story. I can do a fairy tale-ish story. I can do animation and still arrive at the same truth. So if I don't want na ma-rectag agad ako, I'll think of something else and yet I will still have to get there. I mean, and then depende sa boses mo, kanya-kanya tayong paraan But I hope that we're all arriving at the same truth and I hope we see the same truth. But you can find so many ways of doing things. Lagi ko itong sinasabi, during martial law, people kept asking us, no, paano yun, martial law, etc. Maraming hindi pwede, maraming hindi, etc., etc., etc. Ang daming kahon, ang lakas ng kahon. Pero lagi kong sinasabi sa kanila, second golden age sa Philippine movies nangyari during martial law.
Yeah.
We operated, moral came out, himala, etc. All those came out during martial law. Kung magsimula ng kwento, saan ako magsimula? Well, lahat naman pwedeng pagsimulan setting, an idea, a smell, naalala nyo, an object, etc., etc. But the easiest would be, wherever it started, go to the protagonist, kung may protagonist, and then go to A-B. Otherwise, you'll tend to get lost. Kasi ang dami magagandang mangyayari at magiging takbuhan But it will simplify, it will help you focus. Itong protagonist ko, sino siya, anong gusto niya, anong problema niya. Hindi lahat ng kwento may character na may problema. Kung walang problema, walang kwento. So, maghanap ka ng character na may problema, create trouble to the max. create trouble for your protagonist to the max. But trouble mo siya ng ito. Keep creating trouble. Otherwise, walang kwento. Unless you want to go slow cinema, na parang human condition.
May general question din po ulit sa chat. How do you deal with writer's block daw po? And do you believe in that, sir? Alam ko may sagot kayo dyan.
Alam mo talaga itong question na to, every single session, university, webinar man, Zoom man, in-person man, yun ang tinatanong. Which means it's a valid question. Which means we will deal with it, writer's block. So let's redefine, and I'll answer the same way I answered before. Hindi ako naniniwala sa writer's block. Naniniwala ako sa tamang proseso. Maybe you feel na you have a writer's block kasi hindi lumalabas yung baby. But the baby wants 3 months or needs 9 months. Maybe it needs 6 months. Maybe you haven't done enough research. Maybe you haven't done enough acting away at the stone. So hindi pa siya lilitaw, and yet you feel impatient. And because hindi siya lumalabas, you feel frustrated. Hindi yata ako na writer, mali yata yung material, may mental block yata ako, hindi ko yata na-solve. Pag nabablock ka, it's part of the process. Wala pa, hindi ka pa makatuloy. Next day, hindi ka pa rin makatuloy. That's part of the process na hindi ka pa rin makatuloy because kailangan mong pupukin yung daan. Hindi mo pa napupukin enough. So, trust the process. Do something else, recreate. Ako, I go to another script. I write another material. I write 3-4 things at the same time because I'm maligali. If you're like that, then nakaka-recreate kayo. Now, if you're not like that, if you're methodical, you do hard work, then I think you have to take rest away from it, take time away from it, let it hibernate or what. Kung may time, recreate, do other things, or just keep working hard at it and trust the process. Maybe it needs 1 week. So 1 week kang may block, if you call it block. But actually, you just don't know how to proceed with the story. Then just keep proceeding.
Hi. Sir, ano po yung payo nyo sa mga aspiring writers?
Payo.
Ang dami. ang dami. Off my head, punta ko na lang yung usual na sinasabi ko sa lahat. Total, ito na naman at maging trite na to. Ang lagi kong sinasabi sa kanila, it's important and it's good and it's nice na you become good writers, you learn on the craft, etc. But it's more important na maging mas mabuti kayong tao. Yun ang lagi kong sinasabi. But I think dapat tayo maging mabuting tao because gusto nating mabuo ang ibang mga tao. It doesn't mean we will not take sides. Part ng pagiging mabuting tao is to take sides because winawasak ang pagkabuo ng mga tao, you have to take sides. It doesn't mean be kind when I say mabuting tao. It means maging totoong kang tao, fight for against injustice, fairness, etc. Tumulong magbuo. So, maging mabuti kang tao kasi you have to contain so many characters inside your heart na iba-ibang mga moralidad na hindi mo kagaya ng moralidad. Kailangan magkasya sila sa puso mo. Hindi sila magkakasya kung kuripot ka at hindi ka mabuting tao. Kailangan mo silang i-embrace at pagkasyahin. Even the contrarians. Okay, yun. And then outside of that, I suppose be open, watch movies, pay attention. Ang isang problema natin, at I think a writer has to be able to pay attention, to get engaged with the moment, to get engaged with something, to get engaged with the sampaguita, with the mga makopa na nanggagaling sa kabilang bakuran na nahulog sa bakuran mo, to get engaged and to clean it up. I think you have to be in love or fall in love. Not necessarily with another person, in love with a dream, with a passion. You have to feel love. I don't think you can write kung wala kang nararamdamang love for the world, for a pamangkin, or for a loved one, or for a wife or boyfriend. You have to be suffused with love if you will write. Lalo na sa panahon natin ngayon. Let's wrap up. So, I hope na after today's session and try to develop stories, whatever form, pelikula, etc., and so on. Sana may bunga tayong makuha dito. Alam ko na tapos na tayo sa session na to, pero I trust na pag alis nyo, pagpunta, sana gumawa kayo ng kwento. Kasi kailangan natin ng kwento, kailangan nating magkwento, lalo na sa panahon ngayon na disconnected tayo lahat.
Yes.
The more we need connections, and stories will connect us. And you need to connect for your own well-being. As writers, as human beings, you need to connect. And one way you can connect is to create stories. And yung mga napag-usapan natin kanina, konting tools yun para makakreate kayo ng stories. So, sana, after this, yung mga kwento-kwento. We operated, Moral came out, Himala, etc. All those came out during martial law. So, yung kahon, in a way, I'm not going to say yun ang responsible. Pero wala kang magagawa, nandun yung kahon eh. Yung kahon, in a way, ang tumulong para bumulwak
Yes.
yung mga pinigilan at makahanap ng butas, at ang pagbulwak na yun ang nagbigay ng brilliance. Otherwise, kung minsan, dahil wala kang babanggain, hindi ka bumubulwak. You're so comfortable and complacent and things are okay. The pagbulwak. So, I hate to say this, but kuminsan kailangan talaga ng kahon o ng maharang para ka makapiglas. Otherwise, hindi na mararamdaman ng audience yung piglas. So yun. So, there are a lot of ways you can tell your story.